Alhamdulillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. If we lose control of our temper, get angry and treat others badly, I have heard once ibadah and good deeds would be of no use in ahirah. Could you elaborate on rights on fellow human beings that are binding on us?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That is a good question. It's a very wide question. I may speak that for half an hour, 1 hour, days we may speak on that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. There are at least two parts to this question. Number one, it is what our tariqat is concentrating on, which is the ego. This tariqat is not concentrating on zikr, ibadat, other things. It is concentrating on sohbat. And the sohbat is concentrating on, for 1400 years in the Nakshibendi way, on the ego, on the nafs. And how the nafs is the root of all evil. That if we are not fixing the root, if we are not fixing the inside, then the outside can be very rich, can be very beautiful, but the inside is rotten. It doesn't mean anything. So the man who is making a lot of ibadat, like what we said before, but he's not understanding how his ego, the characteristics of the ego that we inherit from shaitan, anger, jealousy, stubbornness, and what? Arrogance. If you're not understanding the hundreds and thousands of the tricks and traps of these four main characteristics, hundreds and thousands of branches, different ways of arrogance showing. Arrogant doesn't just mean a person is looking very proud. Maybe a person is looking very humble. He's doing everything openly, humbly, but inside he feels that he's better than others. Or he looks down on someone. He thinks he is the best. Hundreds and thousands of subdivisions of that, and if he's not spending time with the Seyh to understand that from himself, he is in the right way, but he has already made a detour. Then that time he may find that on the day of judgment, his book is empty. So now, this tariqat is concentrating on us understanding those four main qualities that we inherit from shaitan and how to get rid of it. Now, about the rights of others on us. It is enough that the saint is saying, it is better in our tariqat to break the Kaaba than to break another person's heart. It is better to destroy the Kaaba than to break another person's heart. Now, this does not mean, like so many are misinterpreting it, this does not mean when you see something bad, something wrong that is happening on another person, you are going to support it. You are going to embrace it. You're going to say, oh, it's okay. You can do as you like. This does not mean that you're going to support each other's egos. The tariqat has become that. They say, we don't want to break anyone's heart. So whatever that we see, even if the qualities and the actions, they are filled with the ego, we are not going to say anything, and we think it is also right. It is not. There is still enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil. Amri bil ma'ruf, nahy anil munkar. There is still haq and batil. To break a person's heart is a very delicate and is a very wide topic. Because now, depending on the authority that is given to you, when you see something that is wrong, Depending on your authority, you have to say. Like what they say, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, if you see something wrong, first, did he say accept it? Did he say don't judge, leave it alone, it's okay, support it? Like what so many people saying Sufism, it is what it is. No. You see something wrong, correct it, he says. First with your hands, which means that if you are a person who's given the authority to change it physically, and not everyone is given that authority to change it physically. Very few are given that authority. You must change it with your hands. If you cannot change it with your tongue, not everyone has that authority now to tell others also, to correct others with their tongue. That is completely different from seeing something wrong and with your tongue you're saying, no, it's okay, continue doing it. You cannot correct it with your tongue, then what Holy Prophet is saying? Correct it from your heart. Take that as a lesson. It means saying, Ya Rabbi, that is wrong I'm seeing in front of me. It is not pleasing to you and your Prophet. I don't take any part from this. Protect me from doing that. That is what it means. If you are angry towards someone, not for the sake of Allah and His Prophet, but because of your ego. If you are being jealous of someone, so many now, they have that sickness of jealousy, especially inside of tariqat. They want what others have. They're seeing what others have, they say, why I don't have? They are rushing to know what others are doing, but they're not investigating their own thoughts, their own actions, their own intentions to see where this is coming from. But they're being very busy. They want to know everything about what others are doing, although it is not their business. If it's not your business, don't interfere. You're being arrogant, and you're being stubborn because of your ego. Yes. That time, what happens when you have all these characteristics? You already share the characteristics with shaitan. You share the characteristics with shaitan. Now, you don't have the authority to correct, to do anything. In your heart, you must say, Ya Rabbi, I don't like this. This is what we're doing. That's why we're pulling ourselves to the top of a mountain. We cannot correct the world. We cannot say anything. But we're saying with our heart, with our intentions, meaning that we are not part of that. And we must be free ourselves from all these wrong characteristics. Because otherwise, you cannot find peace anywhere. If you don't get rid of it, you cannot find peace. You will not be able to find peace by yourself, in your family, or in a community. You cannot find it. Because now you're always comparing yourself with others. Only way you can compare yourself with others is to say that one has these good characteristics, I don't. Why I don't? That time, yes. You may compare, you may be busy. But you cannot say this one has something I don't. Why I don't? That is not the way of tariqat. So, now, if a man has all these different characteristics and he's not doing it for the sake of Allah and His Prophet, then that time, all those characteristics is going to chain him and bind him. And the end is the fire. So others, in tariqat, we put others ahead of ourselves. The rights of others ahead of ourselves. They are saying, if you see something wrong that your brother is doing, first find at least 70 excuses for him. You see it is wrong. You know it is wrong. But you are not now going to jump to judge him. You see it is wrong and you say, he's doing wrong because of this. Maybe because of this or because of this or because of this. But you're not saying he's doing right. There's a very fine line there. You're not saying he's doing wrong, but what he's doing is right. No, you're going to say he did wrong, maybe because of this. It's nothing to do with me. Do that. Do that for 40 days, and you'll find so much peace and rest in your heart. And you'll find others looking at you for peace too, because you're not being busy with others. You're just being busy with yourself. The rights of others are before you. How are you going to learn this if you don't live in an Islamic community? Impossible. How are you going to learn this if we don't have an empire? It is impossible. How are you going to learn this if this world is turning with the wheels of capitalism? You will not. How are you going to learn all of this when the reality of this world right now is functioning within the system of Dajjal? So, you want to be able to have that full experience, pull yourself out as much as you can. Then that time you will feel that yes, what Allah has given to mankind with Islam, it is a system. It is not a private practice. For the whole world, from now until Judgment Day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This much I can say. Give the